item 25, where a lady is requesting to purchase a piece of equipment, a 2021 XL 3100 GradAll from Astros Equipment. I'm sure that this wasn't meant to be a deceptive situation, but usually when somebody wants to purchase something, there's a price involved. And as I continue to do some further research on this particular item, it appears we're talking about $300,000. And that's kind of a big chunk of money. The thing that bothers me a little bit is the fact that it's a 2021. How do we know that since it's been used by someone else, the condition that it might be in, number one, and it says that it's approved by the buy board. I didn't know the buy board approved of purchases. The thing that goes against the grain with me is the fact that when I asked some time ago through the Freedom of the Information Act and requested a list of your equipment from all four of you, I asked the question, what percentage of time is this piece of equipment being used? None of you could answer that question. And oftentimes when we go by your yards, we see equipment that is housed underneath and the equipment just sits there. I'm thinking if this piece of equipment can be used to comply with a request that was made 2.5 years ago, right over here on this road adjacent that goes down to the sheriff's office and goes down to Highway 150, maybe this will be a useful piece of equipment. The commitment was made 2.5 years ago that you were waiting on construction. And I guess that's still going to be the excuse you use, but when the sheriff has their vehicles and they need to get out in a hurry and they have to run across potholes in the road, that's not a very healthy situation. And I'm hoping that we see some improvement in that area. It certainly do. And when it says this is a lease purchase item, it's not on the current budget. And it appears that whoever comes into office in 2024 is going to be settled with this if Aladi chooses not to run again, or if someone else happens to surpass him in the votes. But I kind of like this to be in full disclosure and transparency, and it's certainly not in this item. Thank you.
All right. Next, Mr. McCoppin.
Thank you, Judge. And it's on. I think I put on my request I was going to talk about 6 and 7, but I also have a little bit about item number 11. So I'm actually looking at a page from the external auditors from. It says for the year ending September 30th, 2021, and that's the latest thing you can find out on, at least on the website for audit of county funds, and it says that the ending fund balances for the general fund, doesn't include the road and bridge funds, is $3,820,189. What that brings me back to is item number 6 and 7. I'm a past commissioner, and every time these items come up in Commissioner's Court, we hear a lot of mumbling, talking, and people are always asking me, what are they doing? Because they don't understand what these items are. They don't understand the claims, that's paying the bills, as you say often. But on top of that, there's not a lot of visibility into that. We don't know how much is being paid, or how little, or who to, until the check register gets published 2 or 3 months later. Then maybe you can see and guess what's going on. But then item number 7, the approval for budget amendments and revenue certifications. That's another one that the public had virtually zero visibility into. I was kind of researching an item, and back in 2020, there wasn't a line item for it. There was a line item number 250 in Fund 50. And to not get into a bunch of detail, but the line item didn't exist in 2020, I believe. And then it did exist in 2021. But the public was never particularly informed about that $49,000. So I was just curious, I think the public would like a little bit more visibility and transparency into the budget amendments. Are we going to have a budget amendment today that could pay for Mr. McAnally's GradAll? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Then, on item number 11, I don't know for certain what the fund balance is, but I think it would behoove the court, if you look at 2021 there, the $3.8 million amounts to about 33% of the total budget of the county, the way I calculate it, less grants and a bunch of the other stuff that's paid by the federal government. And that amounts to, that 3.8 million amounts to about 33%. I doubt very seriously that there's not very many people in this audience that have 4 months of reserve sitting there waiting for some catastrophe to happen. If you actually look at it, the statistics I've heard, there aren't very many households that have a month's worth of reserve or fund. And I would like to maybe see the tax rate lowered a little bit and thus lower the fund balance. Thank you very much, and that's all I have to say today.
Alright, item number 5. Ask for possible discussion of items of public committee interest for which no action is taken.
Blacktop Road, Hill Road,
Fixing the Blacktop Rose Hill Road in the morning.
Yeah, I'm glad to do that. In my lifetime, before you got into office, I have been stuck in Rose Hill Road on the lakeside end down there. And I've had to go pull people out, and we done a lot of good with that one. Get paid, that's a good thing, because that thing's covered. That road has got, it used to be just a few houses, now it's covered up with houses, so that's good news. I see you had a budget of it, a revenue certification, where you did a bunch of work for the city and they reimbursed you for that. I'll have some more when we do, fix this road around here, but we're not gonna fix it till we're done with all the construction. That's always the plan, right?
Let me tell the public that the mayor has authorized me to go from 150 across Cedar all the way to the doctor's office. He wants me to get him a breakdown of what that will cost, then go from 150 coming in by the sheriff department to this second stop.
The city limits of each one of our jurisdictions are the city's responsibility, and we have interlocal agreements with the city, and if they say, we're gonna work on this road right here, they authorize them to do that. So, not up to the commissioner to decide which city streets to fix, that's the city's. That's the way it's always been. The average person may not know that, so I thought I'd let y'all know. You may all know that.
And the continuation of this road that comes on through by the property we bought, this property and the property across the street. I'm working with the mayor now to maybe let the county have that as a county road or county property, so that if and when and in the event something ever gets built over there, we will have this street will be county owned at that point in time.
For the most part, we were here when that happened. I know I was. That was a piece of property that we bought, and there was no road there.
Right.
So we also, when we added on to the jail, we approached the city and they allowed us to close the street that went on to and come out by the phone company, because we got a jail sitting on top of it now. They were very cooperative in our expansion, but you check the records. I know we talked about, and we just put the road in, but I'm not sure if we ever actually turned that over to them or not on paper. I ain't saying we didn't, but I've been doing a little backtracking, and
I don't think it was. That's kind of where we're at there, talking to them. And that'll be left up. It'll be brought to court when this happens, if it does happen, so that it'll be, the public can know, what's going on.
Your Honor, I was in the city council meeting Monday night, and I brought this subject up, and the mayor said that they had already authorized the county for this end of the road, and he said he would not have authorized it if he had been aware of the fact that it wasn't going to be paved.
he wasn't here when none of these agreements were made, but I can't help that. But we understand what our obligations are, and it's always been to pave it, but not till we're through with the construction. You'd be a fool to go out there and put a nice shiny road in there and you steady got dump trucks and concrete. Now they're done with the concrete, but you just you don't build the road and knowing all this construction is doing. There's a plan to it. We don't want to waste any county resources by building a fancy road and then knowing we got construction that's going to tear it all to pieces.
I'm fixing to overlay Wright Boulevard. I got a meeting with the contractor Monday morning on the asphalt. And I hope we start it Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's the main drag through road.
2 miles.
Yeah.
2 miles asphalt.
Major thoroughfare for
Then we're gonna, when we get through there, we're gonna go down county line and be part of county line with the money that we have there. that's where I'm at on myself.
And we're fixing to do this, so everybody know, we're gonna be closing Lower Vann Road for 2 twin culverts. Next week, we're coming, bringing his excavator over, we're gonna pull his culverts out for 60 inches. We're replacing them, so it'll be closed for a few days.
Talking about that all branch. Well, there's a way around.
Yeah, there's bypass, Deeter, we're just letting everybody know that probably Tuesday next week.
Well, I've been here long enough to remember the first time I had to do it. That thing's got a lot of water.
So we actually had to do it in the middle of Hurricane Rita. We found out somebody put the culverts in, but they cut it in half. So we only had to
I
have
was back in '05, I remember
they were
that.
standing up, so we had to replace the current floor.
Yes, from that.
Yes.
Not jumping on the 27th, but concrete trucks are not yet finished. Maybe next week, or possibly the week after that, we'll be pouring light cold concrete bases and making some finishing touches on the driveways.
You're right, we're not through with concrete, so as an engineer, what sense would it make to, build a big shiny new road knowing you fix to have 100,000-pound concrete trucks coming over and tearing all the smithereens?
Absolute waste of money, sir.
Yes, yes. All right. Anything else of this nature that we need to kick around? I was not expecting to be here today. We started a jury trial in a probate case. I started in '98 on it. County's never, in the last 25 years, never tried a probate jury trial. And boy, I thought I was going to get a pass today. It was expected to be all the way through Friday, but the lawyers, once we started putting on evidence, the lawyers got in the back corner and settled yesterday afternoon. So, anyhow, I'll see you around there. GranntWorks, I don't know if they're here or not. All right. We don't have anything else to talk about there. I think kiddos have all started back to school. Today is some of the first day. I believe the school district is switching to 4 day a week. I wish they'd done that back in my day. That'd been another day for hunting and fishing. Not sure how they're going. The ones with toddlers and things, youngsters, what they're going to do on Friday. Anyway, it's really not our favorite. That's another out of big interest going on there. All right, I guess we'll move on down to item number 10. Consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve contract amendment between Center County and GranntWorks. Now, GranntWorks, are they here? I think it's a reduction in their pay because they're working off a percentage on the buyout. The only thing they're working for us is buyout stuff, and that's buyout going back to Harvey, but originally thought we were going to do 111 buyouts, and turns out we ended up, believe it or not, they sent out, I don't know, over 1,000 letters that published it in the paper, they put it on websites, and they spread the word in every manner they knew how to. Like I say, they sent over 1,000 letters. I think we ended up with somewhere around 100 applications. And you have to actually be qualified for this process. And when I say first qualification, you're going to have the government buy you out for the flood. You actually have to own the property, believe it or not. So out of 100 applications, we have right around 50 that are actually qualified buyout. So we closed on about 16 of those, and we're working on closing the rest of them. But it became apparent that we're not going to end up using all of the $11 million in buyouts. So I think we could just do a modification of sorts on the contract with DLO, because I think they dropped the amount. de-obligated the funds is what the state calls it, $2.9 million or something, so.
The obligation because of the difference in what they originally expected and what we actually.
We really thought we had, there was lots of damage, but some of the titles in some of these areas are not all that clear. I guess it's uncommon, not uncommon, I guess, for people to sell a place or move out, somebody else come along and take over. They submit all your paperwork when it passes down from this into that one. You don't have clear title. They're not going to spend government money to find out for somebody who may or may not be the right one.
Contract.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon. I have a second by Commissioner McAnally. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. I don't remember the exact number, but 1.3 or something, this load is down to $1,060,989. I still think that's in the wrong business. That's standard rates for grant writers, and there's a tremendous amount of paperwork. You say we do close on 50, that's 20,000. Per transaction. That's more than the real estate commission would take That's it. Say something. When they de-obligate money, we can't just take it and spend it on something. First of all, we don't have the money, actually. We were awarded the money, and when we get ready, we get 8 or 10, 12 of them ready to close at the title company. And the grant writer sends a request to the state to send the money, and they send the money. And we waited on the first one from October till May before they sent the money. After we said, let's send the money. But the flip side is, when it hits the auditor's desk, state law says she's got 3 days to get it off of her desk and out of her coffers, get it over here to the title company. So we're not, anybody that might be a buyout person here, we're not the reason you're waiting on anything. So they take 6 months, we get 3 days, but we haven't never went past 3 days so far, have we? But we're not gonna receive about 2.9 because we didn't have enough people with qualified actors. ELO will take that and put it back into the big pot. Other jurisdictions that may or may not have, maybe they had more than this, or I guess they could tap into it. They'll figure out what to do with it. Some of us think there's always an underlying tendency to try to give it Houston or the big cities.
This goes to redistributed across the state, and they got to go by the guidelines. And it goes back to the COG.
I know how it goes, but
They redistribute.
and among some, there's a big push to, and they got their share of damage too, and they were already willing to take money.
They're entitled jurisdiction. Their population size, the number of votes.
Item number 11, consideration, discussion, possible vote on the proposed tax rate fiscal year 2023-2024, proposed tax rate 0.53043 will exceed the voter approval rate 0.53043 or the no new revenue tax rate, whichever is lower, take record vote, schedule public hearing and set date for public hearing. I probably file the proposed budget. It's just a proposed budget, but we've had several budget hearings and workshops, and this time I've tried to put most everything that I think is needed into the budget. And we always fine-tune the proposed budget, come out with whatever board as a whole feels like is best for the citizens of the county. I'll file that on, we want to have it ready to go by Thursday, which is the day when if we get it done before then, we will, but
Thursday tomorrow?
meeting, no wait a minute. We may file it today. Today is the 9th. Yeah. That's just the proposed budget.
That's right.
Is there anything that, this is ready around here? I know you're constantly poring over and looking for buttholes and things of that nature. Anyway. Last year's rate was,
152.
sorry, 152, yeah, I can't remember those other two digits.
I think
97?
97.
97,
97.
yeah. Age went up, like they always do. So, no new revenue rate, because the values went up, is actually 0.51335. This proposed budget plans to exceed, in other words, we're trying to raise more money than we raised this year. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. We've had tremendous crowds here, not near every meeting, urging us to do more for the sheriff's office, and we responded, and we're doing that. And that proposed raise is in the proposed budget. But you can't do more for them, you gotta get the money from somewhere. So the proposed rate is equivalent to, it's 0.53043, which is equivalent to the voter approval rate. The voter approval rate is what was always prior, in the old days, referred to as the rollback rate. In other words, if we go over that, there could be a throwback election force on that. We don't go there. We do want to generate enough revenue to do whatever we can to help the sheriff do his job, help the commissioners fix more roads, and so on and so forth. So that's what's in there. That's the proposed rate, the proposed budget is, will take to fund it. That doesn't mean that public hearing we might, we find some more sources of revenue, or we find some things that, oh, we really don't need that, we'll take out, great. But it's in there in the proposed budget, basically, we need to figure out a way to save some of that, that's the point. No raises, that there are some, raises always get put in at the last minute, but, I may get it wrong. Sheriff, which one of those, is it Lone Star or HB 22 that requires, that mandates you get a raise if we want to apply for the grant?
House Bill 22.
Okay, that's what I thought. Whichever one it is, it's 22, Senate bill or House, is it Senate bill or House bill?
Senate bill.
Senate Bill 22. Anyway, that's passed, that's an initiative to try to help give law enforcement, employees a little better base financial salary. I don't know all the particulars, it's basically to help law enforcement throughout the state. In order, the legislation says that in order for us to be able to be eligible to participate in that, they set minimum standards that deputies and law enforcement, including the sheriff, has to be able to make. Think of it, 45,000 deputies, and when we gave this last raise just a month or so ago, or whenever, the deputies were qualified on the deputy. Sheriff, on the other hand, 14,000 short of that goal, so I put a raise in there in this proposed budget to bring the sheriff to that level so we can apply that grant. I believe is that a 1 or 2 year? I was under the impression it was 2 years.
It's a perpetual grant, year after year. But you'll have to put in part year after year.
Yeah.
And then also the jailer, if you don't mind me interrupting, the jailer, minimum of 40,000.
And also covers, just for clarification, in there, the DA has a million here, 175,000, and constable, that's about 700,000.
Hence the necessity to go up to the voter approval rate with a proposed rate of budget. We can't fund all these unfunded, the state's not, we have a lot of unfunded mandates on other projects. So in order to fund everything we want to do, that's what's in there. It's the rate, 15304. And I propose the truth and taxation laws have they give you so many days. Once you do this step, you got to do this step, and we got the calendar out. And I'm not going to mention names, but somebody's taking vacation in September, so we scheduled a hearing where we certainly want a full court on this. Is very important. I understand everybody needs to do a vacation. So the date we came up with is August 28th. That's when the public hearing is going to be if I get the anticipated motion and approval. Set the proposed rate of 53043 and set a public hearing for August 28th. I have a motion by Commissioner McInerney, a second by Commissioner Brandon. Now, some jurisdictions tell me, I go to a lot of these schools, and how y'all doing this, how y'all doing that? Some of the judges say they usually pass the budget at the public hearing. Well, I'm not a proponent of that. Maybe we will, but just to be upfront with y'all, I'm going to propose another meeting on August 31st. That'll be when I hope to pass the budget before everybody scatters and vacations and all that stuff. The reason I like to do it on another day, and by the way, you have to do that on the public hearing day. The law says you can't do it no later than 7 days after that day. 7 days, unless we can all congregate down there in Cancun on the cruise boat, we wouldn't have a full crew there. So August 31st would be the proposed day that we'll have a meeting to try to pass the budget. The reason I do that, it's simple with me. I mean, when we need to have the public hearing, the public will have full right to comment, and we may actually get some good ideas. Sometimes we do. And then if we do, we couldn't implement them if we intended to pass the budget the same day. So that's a no-brainer for me. anyway. All right, I got a motion and a second to set the proposed rate for, proposed, that doesn't mean it's locked in stone, it's not until we take the record vote after the final budget hearing. Okay. 0.53043 and set a public hearing right here in this building on August the 28th. Any other comments, questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous. 5 votes.
Judge, is the time gonna be the same time?
I think so. I don't think there's any statutory reason to start at daylight. 9's usually, yeah, I believe so. We're gonna get that, I'm sure glad that trial got canceled. I got a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna, so we're ready to file this today. We just, there's some signing we have to do, and then we gotta send some notices. And all those are prepared, those dates, and now you can,
I go to the newspaper?
yeah. Ms. Davis, tax collector, anything you need? Any more information you need from us
Sorry about that.
regarding the amounts and the dates and all that? I think each office has a notice that goes out. So maybe I might have gone off the subject, but just for the public's information. Raises, I don't see them, but you can't even suggest a raise if you don't put it in this letter that we send to the elected officials. So sheriff, in that letter, it's already written as a raise up 75,000. At the suggestion of some members of the court, the elected officials are proposed $1,000 raise. Now, the way we always do raises, ever since I've been here, if we have a raise, we're all in the boat together, so we try to do raises. If one gets it, everybody gets it. If we don't have the money to do that, the sheriff's going to certainly get it, because we don't want to hamstring ourselves. And that grant that he's getting, that's where the money's going to come to pay for his rate. But it's not going to fund raises for all the rest of the 165 employees.
Just now, I was asking a question. Do you keep any record at all of the expansion of the whole tax base anywhere?
Do we keep any record of what now?
Of the expansion of our tax base. In other words, there's a lot of building going on because people want to get right out of Houston. And I know in the Cape alone, I mean,
Well, the
every
appraisal district would have a lot of that information now. I don't know that they have they can put it together. I don't know if they have a already drawn up document, but they could pull it together and generate such a forest tax base. That's where we get our values from.
Yeah. We
have to wait till they send that over for Ms. Davis to do her thing on calculating the rates and so forth.
As far as the growth, I mean, the 911, they could probably give you a better hit on the growth, because that's what the taxing entity goes by when they send them over there for their building stuff they're building. So I imagine if you talk to Tricia at 911, she could.
They give you information about the number of permits we get a month or a year, but she won't have anything that has to do with the value of the.
Yeah.
When you say the base, you're talking about the money value.
Right.
We're taxing.
Once the house is built,
That's appraisal district.
Right.
Ms.
Okay.
Davis, I believe you did give us a breakdown on new taxes.
Yes.
If we will get a breakdown that says, this is money from new taxes every year, so we will know what new taxes, what revenue.
Let me read this. I got it on my proposed budget.
Okay.
This budget will raise more property tax than last year's budget by $812,966 or 5.5%. And of that amount, $369,459 is tax revenue for new property added to the tax roll this year. That's spread out about all the departments, sheriff's department, general fund, road and bridge. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's one of the things I always tend to read. Sometimes
I just asked Mark right there, and he said that.
you ain't supposed to read something. I appreciate it. All right. Good deal. Item number 12. Consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve a variance for a family-owned 1 acre tract, lot 108, front section, will direct access to Sandy Creek Road off Creek Road, volume 115, page 162, deed record, Sampson County, Texas. Mr. Grant?
We've been working on this for how long now?
4 months ago.
And,
Sandy Creek, is that?
also the one.
Yeah, right as you go in that neighborhood on the right-hand side, there's a fever dam right by there.
The one keep breaking on it.
And I thought that was it, that's real close to where you're talking about.
Right across the road.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The gentleman owns property for 38-1 on the dam, around the runoff from that big dam. And he's divided up to his family members. What made this one kind of unique is, he made it into an L shape, with retaining the back section. But the front section is the one that's variance for that, whatever lot.
So he's got more than 1 acre total.
Oh, he got more, he owns, 10 acres.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought you meant by that.
Yes. Yeah, so he's breaking down that 1 acre tract, and he's doing this, a lot of his maintenance for recording purposes, county clerk office.
So when you read it, if you're not looking at the plat, we're going to bust up a 1 acre, cutting 1 acre out of the bigger tract.
So it's got direct road access.
So the only comment I have is it's exempt from our subdivision rules. You do not need a variance because you divided among those family members. But if you want it exempt, if you want a variance, we'll give it a variance. I make the motion to do that, but we have no problem in this whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree, that's just for documentation.
That's a good point, because if, in between now and then, since, when you divide your own property up amongst your family, we can't really control that. The law of the property code says you can, property and or local government code says you can cut it into 4 pieces, as long as you provide them access to the road, which this does here. But if he fell out with his son in between now and decided he wants to deed it to Mayor Woods, that's not the same. So if he gets a variance now, he can do whatever with that. Sandy Creek, so just for my, I see it over here, the FM 38, so that's the bigger dams, like, yeah, it's right. I have a motion by Commissioner Matuno, second by Commissioner Mars. Any other questions or comments amongst the board? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen. They do good work. They do. They've been diligent on this work. Yeah. Next item, number 13, consideration, discussion, and possible vote. By the way, y'all notice up at the top it says amended agenda topics. I had prepared, we had prepared agenda, and we got a box that we put all commissioners and anybody's requests in there. And we put them all on there, and then when she got, and I filed an agenda, and when my secretary got to sort them, so she could send the backup information to the commissioners, 2 paper clips got done together. And that was this, one of these, this item, number 13, was what fell out there. I said, uh-oh, we still got time to amend the agenda, so that's why it's not on there. If anybody's wondering why it wasn't on the original one, this is the, I don't know what else to call it, amended agenda. They were filed within about an hour or two. That's what we got So, consideration, discussion, possible vote for lay material on time. Time L is misspelled. There's an extra L. Time L Lane, private road, citizens expense for ingress and egress due to type of road established therein. And I'll have to confess, there's been times in the last 20 years that I've been creating agendas, and I see the road for the private road, follow it up, throw it, and it never gets on there, but Mr. Desaney's first rodeo, I'm sure he's got a good explanation for what he's proposing, so you have that whole on there.
The reason for this has been an ongoing issue. And I put it on here because the property owner asked me. And it is a private road, but I look at it, it's no different than going in and doing road repair work and these POAs and everything else that have their road repair, they're all private roads. So I'm gonna pull this from the agenda because we've already taken care of the issue with the contract. But
I anticipated that, I didn't want to be presumptuous, not put it on there.
let's be transparent with it and get it out there, just so we know folks got that, we're gonna do that, we put it on there, and I did.
Is this Brother Diamond? I thought he did. I know his son passed away. His son passed away. I'm trying to check on Mr. Diamond.
You know, because y'all live down, you lost a couple bumpers on there now.
And there, at one time, I couldn't get my truck in and out. Yeah.
His wife passed away, he lost his boy. And, he's retired, he's firefighter.
He's living in New Hampshire.
That's what I had found out. I've done, our family done work for him for years. It is a terrible road. I mean, it's bad. Anyway, there's a resolution without us.
Yeah, we got to take that off. All we're going to do is spread the, he was buying the children.
My suggestion would be, take your tractor and bus blade down there and do it. Don't take it.
Well, I could do that, we got to work on the contract.
Okay. I've been here long enough to see, I saw one fellow in an innocent situation, that's the world's trouble with it.
Like I said, I put this on here for transparency, you did ask, you talked about it. And the conversation came up where y'all do it all the time, I mean, POAs, HOAs, and reimbursement, why can't I do it on time?
Well, I'd like to address that.
Okay.
The POAs they're on county roads. They're not county roads. There's no work being done on a road that is not county or.
I've never consciously voted for something that I thought was happening on.
That's what they think.
It's common, so people would understand because of my truck.
Well, if people are here, it's a private road and we could be indicted if we.
Unless it's under disaster.
That is an exception.
We can go with that 28 hours.
72. 72 hours.
The last time that I know that happened was during, the bridge, now, we did a little work on the culvert, so the culvert blew out, y'all got where the people could get in and out of there. I think that was the one where there was cars, washed off the whole ditch. Anyway, all right, no action on that. Number 14, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve the appointment of judges / alternate judges for the term to start September 1st, 2023 and be effective through August 31st, 2025 for Texas Election Code 32.009. Ms. Shelly.
Good morning. The names that are put before you this morning are the ones that have been submitted by both the Democratic and Republican chair. Most of these persons.
Let me give a little bit of background.
Sure.
County election board met Friday, and isn't that what we discussed?
We didn't discuss these at all, no, sir.
None of these?
Some of the agenda items moving forward, yes, sir, but
And
not
some of the other items?
Correct,
Okay,
yes,
let me gosh.
You're fine, you're fine. So these names are persons that you're familiar with. We have had them serve over the past elections, which is great. Experience is priceless. We do have one person you'll notice in box number 3, Mr. Robert Duke. He is new.
We have a fellow named Trump serving on with an election judge.
We do, yes, sir. But he is known as Mr. Ed in the polling location. So, yeah.
I probably know him, I just didn't realize that was his last name.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Mr. Robert Duke is he's a new name. He is new to the county, but he's not new to elections. He's worked elections in his previous county, and so we're excited. The chair approved his name, and we're excited to have him come on board, see our practices. Obviously, we're in St. Jacinto County. He's coming from Harris County, so I told him it's probably going to be a breeze for him here.
I'll approve this.
I'll say that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Petuno, a second by Commissioner Barnes. How do you pronounce the alternate's last name in box 8?
It's going to be Lamoureux.
Lamoureux.
Annette Lamoureux, yes, sir.
Okay. Any comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's unanimous, 5-0. You're right, we didn't discuss this. No, the election board, I don't remember. By the way, we had a proper quorum and the sheriff arrived at the tail end of the meeting.
So what Senate bill is it that's trying to alleviate the position?
Well, it actually failed,
I
but
know it. What, you know?
I'm sorry, I didn't even retain the number. I just
Good
needed
for
to
you.
print it on the
When I put that out of my mind, that's a ridiculous concept.
Some of those dollars, so.
Yes.
They're pushing that.
I was having been aware of that.
I appreciate that too.
Wow.
They changed the wording. It's over 3.5
Yeah,
million.
it's just, yeah, just.
So it hit just Harris County.
I told them, you need to take care of that. We're fine.
All right, item number 15, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve the appointment of early voting ballot board judge and alternate for the November 7, 2023 constitutional /joint election Texas Election Code sections 7.002 and 7.003, Ms. Shelley.
Judge, that should read 87.002, 87.003. These names also are very familiar. They have served for several elections. We're excited that Ms. Elmore is better in health, as is her husband, T.C. Jones and Shirley Elmore. This is now code that you have to have both of these names before the court, but we've been bringing them to you for several terms now.
Have a motion by Commissioner Tuno, a second by Commissioner Morris. So she's got these section deals that kind of look like an 8. I don't know how close to, I never hit that one with my.
Right.
I don't know how close it is to the 8, but for the record, it's sections 87.002 and 87.003 as opposed to, I said 7. Couldn't make that again. T.C. Jones and Shirley Elmore, they say all. Any, have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. It's unanimous. 5-0. I think this is the board that Brother Eisenhower used to serve there. Item number 16, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve proposed election day polling locations for November 7th, 2023 constitutional/joint election. When we say constitutional, we know what that is. Joint, what entities are participating in that election?
So we have Shepard ISD, City of Shepard, Willis ISD, and Cleveland ISD. All of these, of course, are proposed at this point. Nothing is solidified until that last filing date to where candidates can file. Looks like Willis ISD, Cleveland ISD, we're going to be putting forth the bond elections.
Yeah, they're having lots of bond elections over there for what's going on at Plum Road, and we have citizens that live in San Jacinto County that are in the Cleveland School District. They're getting taxed to help fund. I don't know how I would feel about that. It is what it is, as they say. There's no city elections.
Just City of Shepard.
Okay. So I wrote Shepard. I thought
Shepard ISD. Shepard ISD,
Okay,
City of
and
Shepard.
okay.
Yes, sir. Willis ISD, Cleveland ISD.
Okay.
The list for this agenda item is, it's just going to be holding to those 7 locations we've been using. You're still operating, thankfully, under the countywide polling locations where any eligible registered voter in San Jacinto County can vote at any open location in San Jacinto County.
And specifically, you're talking about box 1, if the election administration where we vote Cold Springs, box 2, the Shepard Community Center, box 3, Evergreen Community Center, box 5, the Bear Creek Fire Department,
Right.
box 7, Point Blank, Precinct 4 Annex, box 8, Oakhurst Fire Department, box 10, New Hope Baptist Church. I think you can't have more than twice the amount of boxes in one precinct that you do in another precinct.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Remember one time, I forget, maybe the law was changed a little, we ended up having to create 2 boxes in Shepard. They could vote at the precinct or the annex that was really kind of a waste of resources. They didn't have much of a turnout, but in order to comply with federal law, there's only one in Shepard, and there's two everywhere, in all the other precincts, but it can be, that's 2 to 1, it's not over twice.
Right. Correct.
Did I get
That's
that?
correct, yes, sir. That is.
So those are the locations. There's a few
And
others.
these are the locations that we did discuss at the county election board meeting, and the board agreed that this is still a great, measure to put forth and keep moving at this rate. Continuity always is helpful. When people know where they've been voting, they can go back to their location.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon. Did I get an amen? Which one was first? All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, a second by Commissioner Platuno. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. I don't see anything that needs signing on this.
No, sir.
All right. Item number 17, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the appointment of Central Counting Station personnel for the November 7th, 2023 constitutional / joint election for TDs. Texas Election Code sections 127.001, 127.002, 127.003, 127.004, and 127.005. Ms. Shelley?
So again, these are names that are very familiar. Mr. John Warneroy and Ms. Marsha McMurtry. Mr. John will be the judge. The alternate judge is Marsha McMurtry. Of course, those are your party affiliated persons. Mr. John is Republican. Ms. Marsha is the Democratic. I will be the manager. Sherry will be the tabulation supervisor. You will see where it says assistant tabulation supervisor. I put part-time clerk because it's been hard for me to maintain a person who is steady part-time clerk. So the law permits me to assign that person when they're my employee. So that's the reason I listed it there. I don't have her name at this time.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, second by Commissioner McAnally. Any questions or concerns on this item? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. Item number 18, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve proposed early voting polling location and extended schedule for November 7th, 2023 constitutional / joint election.
Again, the location and schedule are items that were discussed by the county election board. And so we've brought that before you today. That would be that the early voting would be at our main location here in Cold Spring, 51 East Pine Avenue, which is in our building. And that the early voting schedule would adhere to Monday. We know that we have to have 9 hours now due to the last legislative session. So we'd be 8 to 5, Monday through Friday the first week, closed Saturday, Sunday. Monday through Friday the next week, but Monday through Wednesday would be 8 to 5, 9 hours. Because of HB 1217, we are now required across the state of Texas to have uniform dates, which puts us those last 2 dates being extended 7 to 7. Remember I mentioned that mandate that was coming down? It's here. September 1, it goes into effect. So that means that Thursday and Friday is now mandated to be 7 to 7. Therefore, as the board discussed, we did not propose any extra dates for 7 to 7 just due to cost, and usually the turnout for this election is not that great. We know that this constitutional election will have an amendment that has to do with property exemptions. So that's probably going to pull some more people, but we still don't feel like it's going to be that expensive.
I'm thinking you're talking about the one that proposes $100,000 exemption for your homestead. That'll be for the school districts. That doesn't apply to the county. I was a bit panicky when I first heard that, because I thought it would apply to the county. My goodness.
And the governor will be sending out the order as well, and those will be listed on there, and that has been pulled as number 4 on the listing of that. So.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, second by Commissioner McInerney. By the way, I do own a homestead, and I'd love to have $100,000 break on it, but as county chief budget officer, I know how. If that applied to the county's tax base, that'd be a pretty good little hit. We're all us homeowners, the majority of taxpayers. We got about a third of the county that's national forest, there's no tax base there. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, second by Commissioner McInerney, as I've already stated. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous. 5-0. Don't see anything that needs a signature on this committee. Item number 19, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the joint resolution and statistical information for the November 7th, 2023 constitutional and joint election.
So this is a formality. It is required in order for us to lawfully conduct a joint election with all of these entities along with the county. Thankfully, they're coming in because it does bring revenue in for us for our rental of our voting machines. But that it's just listing here all of those entities that we spoke of earlier: City of Shepard, Shepard ISD, Willis ISD, and Cleveland ISD. And that I will be the one who is in charge of the elections, and I'll be responsible for the conduct and supervision.
I have a motion by Commissioner Matuno, a second by Commissioner Brandon. Any questions or comments? Is this something, I don't remember doing one of these.
Yes, sir, we have to do that, yes, sir.
Sounds good to me. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. I got one thing that's really important I want to say. I'll go back to item number 5. So how about them Astros?
Yeah.
Grand Slam in the 9th. Come on.
I'll turn them off.
Item number 20, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the proposed order of elections for the November 7th, 2023 constitutional/joint election.
So this order is, like I said, it's a formality as well, just showing, listing all of the dates, times that we had proposed. Thankfully, those passed, so we can go ahead and move forward with the order. And this is just, we want to present it before the court. I do want to say that I do have a listing of all the propositions that will be on the constitutional amendment. I have those, and I will have a copy at the office if anybody wants to get one or whatever. I have 10 of them with me. Y'all want me to leave some of those?
10 of what? Sure.
10, the listing of the propositions that will be on the ballot. Yes, sir. And the order in which they will appear.
I have a motion by Commissioner McAnally, a second by Commissioner Brandon. Any comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen. Sorry to take up so much time.
Appreciate you doing a fantastic job. Appreciate all your good hard work.
Thank you. Sir? Yes, sir, I gave you 5. Thank y'all.
Sheriff's going to Austin today. Sheriff's going to Austin today. I don't know why they didn't do his thing so he could go. He's going to meet with the governor.
Okay.
For that grant. To make sure.
Item number 21, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to advertise for the Anderson County 2023-24 annual material and contracted services bids for the following items. Aggregate rock, road repair mix, coal mix, pre-mix, road materials, asphalt, ungraded, post coat or iron, mined or unmined bleach, culverts, gasoline, diesel, lubricants, laydown work, hauling/delivery of materials, cement, and stabilization of roadway.
Carol, question for you. Is there any way we can add this bid, if we were running this 2 months ago for the ARPA fund?
Do what?
Is there any way on this bid if we could include verbiage in there to add the ARPA fund?
There's gonna be, yes, we can do that. I'll check with Jill as well to get the right verbiage she would want to have in it.
That way we don't have to go through all this.
Yeah, this will suffice for ARPA or Jill, but we can add it on the advertising.
You mean in case we spend ARPA money on some of these items?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was already implied, whatever, as long as we go through the statutory bid process where we advertise and
Yes.
prove it like this.
Jill approved this as, this is fine.
Yeah, I don't think we have to.
Yeah, but you're going into another budget year, just to be on the safe side, but this is going.
They just, I think all of the government grants that are assigned, as long as you went through this process, if we didn't do what we're doing right here today, we have some serious issues.
Yeah, we would, but on some of these grants, especially like the team ones, we're having to go back and re-provide year by year annual bids, documentation, so that's think we have it, a lot of stuff on there for next year, we're recovered. We're done with 22, 23.
Right. That's
Are there other items, because I don't quite, are there other items that are unique to ARPA that?
Well, we're talking about the materials, and just say we get in there and discover we need a culvert. Well, if we don't have a bid under market for a culvert, then we wouldn't be able to get it.
We got codes, but there's, I think you have to name whatever it is.
Whatever, 4 or 20.
I think as long as we show that we did this, we go through the, like I say, the requirements of the statute. That's perfect. You got, you one of these that wants to wear a bell vest.
You got what he wants?
I think it's good.
Thank you. Make a motion to go out and bid and add the one turn it off.
Oh, terminology. I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, and a second by Commissioner McNally. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. Item number 22. Consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the bond renewals, I guess, for Sampson County, JP4, Kristen Reed, bond, he's the clerk, administrative assistant at the JP office.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Natuno, a second by Commissioner Barnes. She's been there for a while since Teresa's opened.
Oh, join.
Yeah, she's been there a long time.
All right, action.
She worked for McGee, we hired her after Teresa Soap left. Anyway. I have a motion again, like I say, by Commissioner Natuno, second by Commissioner Barnes. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. That could be why it's an odd time of year. We should have took over nothing we need to sign there either. Item number 23, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve to rehire Gerlad as a deputy.
Good morning.
Morning. Tell us.
Jared was an employee with the sheriff's office. He left about 3 months ago for a lucrative position in Kingwood Hospital. He's also a flight medic for Lightflight.
Kingwood Hospital, I was there last night.
Yep.
Busy place.
He was hired to coordinate through ambulances. The hospital changed the direction of that position to an RN. He's only a paramedic. He lost his job. So he has reapplied here at the sheriff's office.
Somebody put a motion.
Dude that's working him to death, and I was there last night, and you talking about, I had no idea about this.
Yeah, it's pretty busy. It's growing.
I was in about a month and a half ago, I know.
Yeah, I expect you were. I have a motion by Commissioner Mars, a second by Commissioner Brandon. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, unanimous, 5-0. Item number 24, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve the request. Consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the request and consideration for, that's kind of a wordy request here. Well, the Commissioners Court is using my board in purchasing 2023 Chevrolet Police Package Blvd Tahoes from Caldwell County Chevrolet. We found some that are actually on the ground at Caldwell, and they're on the buy board.
Yes, sir, I have.
When did you pick them up?
Hopefully, late this week or early next week. They are ready.
The only question I had is that we make sure they're police packages because Mr. Wright told us before we need to start making sure we buy police packages. It says they are, so.
Yeah.
And the money is there, we've allocated money in the last budget, we just haven't been able to spend it, so.
Maybe we get them.
I'm going to make the motion about it.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Natuno.
3500.
Second by Commissioner Mars. So, it says here floor plan and lot insurance, $73.95. Just another way to, I've heard of the terminology, but I don't know that I've ever seen it on my fault.
I think lawyers cover it, claim it to you.
Yeah, the lawyer's got to eat still. And you're talking about for 135 for 3 of them. I thought for a minute they were trying to add tax, but they got a goose egg about tax. We don't pay tax. If they lose it to floor plan, gotcha. I mean, I don't think, it's not like we're getting, that's some benefit to us. I always thought that was the cost of doing business, but they found a way to stick it on there.
Well, the good thing, it's still below what the other ones did. That were still in good shape.
Good job.
Thank you
It's
so
on the
much.
Bible, you're sure of that.
Yes, sir.
I have a motion by Commissioner Natuno, second by Commissioner Mars, to approve the purchase for 135,400 of 3 Tahoes as set forth in this quote that are off of the buy board. Somebody said something about the buy board earlier. The buy board is one of many purchasing entities that have gone out and submitted costs for various vehicles, and if the state's already approved them, so we don't have to run ads in the paper. You buy from an approved buy board type organization, or, well, the car dealers sign a contract with the buy board, and they sell their stuff to governments through the buy board. So, quicker, you don't have to spend any money on running ads. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Item number 25, consideration, discussion, and possible vote to approve the Precinct 1 road bridge to lease purchase a 2021 XL 3100 GradAll and the Astros equipment. The machine and company are by board approved.
Judge, let me explain this to the public.
Yes, sir.
We bought a used GradAll for $8,000 7 years ago. It's lasted 7 years. There is no air conditioning in Mr. Deeter. It's 126 degrees at 12 o'clock, you can't hardly run them. We tried putting a generator, electric generator, on the back of it. We went to Lowe's, got 110 window units and put in it. That last 1 day, did it 3 times. We figured out that won't work. So, anyway.
Every unit in the back of it?
Yes, sir.
Put it in units, that's a whole lot cheaper than a.
It won't work.
Oh, really?
Beats them to death.
They'll last a day and the movement and everything, they just won't last. Anyway, I got 3 out of Lowe's for no cost. And, but anyway, I priced a new machine, which, I think we were at school this year. And, the new machine, just like what I'm referring to here, was $494,000. That's a new machine. So I have went back and they have one that's got 300 hours on it. The warranty is still good until 26. It's got a full warranty on it, extended warranty, and the amount, the whole thing's going to be $343,000. I have it a year before I have to make the first payment. No money down. At that time, I make the first payment, and at any time I can pay it off. So I'm asking the court, if it pleases the court, I would sure appreciate it, and my operator would sure appreciate it too.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Morris.
Is that the same machine that I gave you the other one for?
Yeah, the one I got, my old,
Commissioner Brett.
That's what I said, it's the same machine that I gave you the,
yeah,
all the for parts.
yeah.
I replaced that 5 years ago.
So how many do you have? How many of these kind of machines do you have?
I only have one, but it's fixing to go on Renee Bates
Yeah.
if this is approved today.
You'll recoup some of the.
And I'll recoup some of the money, I only give $8,000 for it 7 years ago, so if I can recap it half, I've done pretty good, I think.
It works, but it don't have no air.
Yes, sir, it's a wintertime machine.
Yeah.
And these folks drive on the roads year round.
It's got rubber tires?
Yes, sir.
You drive it.
You drive it. It'd be a good buy.
He might sell 2 of them.
Yeah, I'll say you want one more for Paul. No air conditioner.
You don't need it.
I got a 40,000 pound tractor I use on, it ain't got no air, but I only run it late in the day.
Well, that's,
Then I can get that work me out.
we're putting in culverts now with it, and if they're not finished by 10 o'clock, it's almost impossible to run.
Yeah, there's a lot of breeze going on.
That's got all that heat.
You don't have to make a payment for a year?
Yes, sir. First payment's gonna be due this, budget year coming up, that we're working on now, we're doing all of it for next year. At that particular time, I can elect to pay it off. The interest rate is 5.60, and that's the fixed interest rate.
So real quick, I got a question for the upcoming budget. This is a loan, you're gonna have to re-budget, you're gonna have to refigure all that.
It's not treated as debt, it's a lease purchase, and he's got the option to pay for the entire thing in August next year. It's not gonna be like true debt, it's not treated as debt.
So, with that said, there is no road bridge department that has any debt service at this time. We are all pay as we go type people, and there is no debt in road and bridge, which is a good thing. I just want to bring that to the state's attention.
It is until you go calculating your rates, and somehow that punishes you. I'm just telling you, that's the way the structure. If you had more debt, you have more flexibility.
Hear what he said? He said, we won't change that.
Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous. Alright. Item number 26, consideration, discussion, possible vote to request to update the county's receiving grant revenue policy to include a line for advance funds rules according to the General Land Office for the contract number 20-006-020-C165 County Buyout Program. All advance funds must be issued to either a vendor or title company within 3 days of receipt of funds from the BLO. We probably should have had that one up there with that other buyout thing we did earlier.
Well, you already mentioned that, about 3 day draw, haven't you?
Yeah. That's been the rules from the get-go. I mean, that's what they told us. Hey, we've been waiting, 7 months, when y'all gonna send the money? I don't know, but when you get it, you got 3 days to get it out of your account. I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, second by Commissioner McInally. Check emails out daily for direct deposit notifications. These are all the things that the treasurer and auditor are supposed to do to make sure we don't hold that money for more than 3 days. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, unanimous, 5-0. On number, back on 25. Is there anything that needs to be signed?
No. I'll let her know that.
Well, I mean, not at this time, there's some kind of contract for the lease or whatever.
I'll ask her about it. She didn't send anything.
I like it, what's the name of that place I went to, require a $350,000 piece of equipment, I have to sign for it.
Well, they deliver it to him, he receives it, then they invoice.
Well, that's okay. All right, just, I like it there, I don't want to miss it, then
I'll ask her.
just later on, I'll be one to. Didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. Item number 27, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve necessary action on the innovation center. Mayor, what's going on with the shelter?
Nothing that really involves the court. We did have the Paved review on Monday. For the record, I approved it. The architect's information will be coming to the office very quickly to get it already. And then come across on your desk soon. As I said a little earlier, we do have one more concrete round to do to pour the pads in the back of the house over there. The light pole pads and some modifications to the driveway to fix it for washouts.
They were hooked up to air conditioning, they was concerned about the diameter of the tubing and blah, blah, blah.
It's been repaired, and the fixes have been put in place.
Have they turned it on? Because if there was ever a time to test the air conditioner, right now is the time.
No power here. The grid is going in, now seeing the grid, a lot of things,
And I hope we're not stalling, waiting until winter time to see how the air conditioning works.
trust me, it will be tested.
Well, I mean, this is the hardest test you could possibly give an air conditioning system. And right now, it's as hot as I ever remember in my life. Every day for a month, it's been over 100 degrees.
Don't go inside of the building.
Well, it's a lot different inside than standing out in the ball of sun, but it's, I figured that.
The electrical is starting, they've already started in there. It's probably gonna take about 3 weeks. Sort of shooting for the end of the month to be finished with it. May not be because of some of the finishes, but it'll be ready very soon. I've got to get with the users over there, figure out exactly what they need for the homes, and then table, that sort of thing. So I'll be working on that this week and next week.
I figured they already had all that hooked up, so these guys wouldn't be killing themselves in there working in them.
It gets one of those incidents, but
Like on most jobs, it seems to me like they try to get that going that way, probably.
yeah, they finish it so faster than the other, but right now they're on the boundary.
Somebody.
Well, it just happens to me, I don't get that. I'm sure whoever makes that call has got a good reason, but it's inconceivable to me why you wouldn't be done with it if you could. Anyway, enough on that. Anything else to report? Everything's going toward the hall, huh? Good. All right. We'll move back up to item number 6, consider approval of claims.
We could use that screen up there and put all the information on that screen.
They do that some places.
And that would be transparency. Number 7, they could do the same thing with numbers. Now, the one thing you didn't bring up is Polk County.
Next time.
You're going to keep it up.
Which one? The August 4th or July 28th?
$1,000 additional for all.
That's when, that was on the credit
What
card.
do they call it?
That's when we went to
Sheriff, question.
Yes, ma'am.
Transport, Guerrero, back in July went and bought airline tickets to go to Massachusetts or what for an inmate?
Connecticut,
Connecticut.
yes. And he's been to Wisconsin, once, and maybe twice.
And a return. So that was a ticket for him and a ticket for the inmate.
Could you inmate that? Couldn't leave him? He got lost. Did you see anything else? I only had one question about the meals. See that from back there? Question about that over here. I got a question about that.
Mama told me one about the door. Telephone, is this the big one? $71.
Second time. My question is, why do we need that big one? How come we all that ain't over to us?
I'm guessing that's.
Three or four times I've been here to fix that door. Is it too big a door? Is it too big a door? Why can't it cut down 12, 16 foot and wall it in?
Rolling steel 22 by 10 take down old door and install new rolling steel and reinstalled open iron baby door. So
What did it say?
it's uninstall and reinstall.
All right, I thought that was wrong, and it's just not coming through.
I think it just came in and it just got done.
So, here, it's not there. To the right.
Hey, Joe. It's been a cold day. Wow, good. I told y'all it was coming up. Make sure to be air conditioners. That's what I'm telling y'all. Did Fitz say that? Did he know about the dog? No, did he hear that? Hey, Jerry? Yes, sir. I think this Caroline said something about the budget stuff.
No, he was asking about the next year's budget. Yes, there was nothing in here.
Heaters. Huh? Heaters.
Probably won't need any heaters for a while,
The dog pound.
Oh.
We want to buy some.
We can have that discussion.
Peters.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills or approve the claims.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tigo,
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence.
Oh, okay. That's my office. What's your answer? Okay.
Just interesting, isn't it? Is that over?
It's over when he says it's over. Or until all the commissioners leave.
I'm going to ask you about him shaking his head when I suggested when's the last time you visited the jail?
What?
When's the last time that you visited the jail? He shook his head.
Back, he used to be up there all day.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. Number 7, consider approval of budget amendments and revenue certifications. I have a motion by Commissioner McNally, a second by Commissioner Brandon. One revenue certification, $19,964. Again, that's money brought in by Commissioner McNally for the city, for the work they've done on their streets. So they won't fix it all up. They'll be able to support it. Alright, I have a motion by, as I said, Commissioner McNally, second by Commissioner Brandon. Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. We won't use that. Have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, Second by Commissioner McNally. Anybody want to stay longer? All in favor, say aye. Ayes have it, unanimous. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.